Well, the Tether situation just got a lot more interesting. We have news that they made a big play here today. Tether did. We have more FUD coming about them all the time. Samson Mao is saying don't worry at all. At the same time, Bitcoin and crypto are falling. You can see Bitcoin's under 92,000. We have the traditional stock markets falling. I want to talk about this, talk about my opinions on whether now is a decent time to dollar cost average or buy, or you should sell, or what's going to happen, what kind of manipulation is happening out there. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to BTCC. You can get set up in just a few minutes, and when you sign up, you can trade all different kinds of cryptos, hundreds of different cryptos on leverage. You can also just buy spot and withdraw if you want. They also give a 10% deposit bonus on all deposits over $500 for first-time depositors. And you can also get lower trading fees for using my link. So the crypto market's falling a little bit today. We also have the Nasdaq down 1.68%, S&P 500 down 1.55%. I think we've actually had a little bit of a decent pullback from all-time highs on S&P 500. Nothing huge, but yeah, 4% or so. It's not like we're pushing all-time highs every single day right now. We've actually had a few days of negative, a few red days in a row, which I kind of like, honestly. I like when valuations come down a little bit. So nothing crazy. We are not even in correction territory or anything like that, but we've just had a couple soft days. At the same time, Bitcoin's falling. We've gone from 108,000 down to 91,600. Keep in mind, this is the same price we were about 10 days ago, the same price we were 25 days ago, the same price we were about a month ago. We've hit these prices over and over on liquidations or flushes. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in a second, but a lot of people have been worried about Tether. Jason from the All In podcast has been pointing out that a shadow digital dollar was created and run up to $100 billion with little to no regulations or controls. And apparently it's been the default for criminals. And this should be extremely concerning to regulators. And now Tether's investing in public companies. So if you didn't get that, he's talking about Tether. They are a $100 billion, $140 billion market cap. And they're actually one of the biggest buyers of U.S. Treasury bonds. But he's pointing out the fact that they have no regulations, no control. At the same time, Jacob King, who always talks negatively about crypto, it seems like, and Tether and Bitcoin, says Tether hasn't minted anything in over 2 weeks, and nobody knows why. This is sending shockwaves through the crypto market. He said that today, actually, 3 days ago, he said that Tether would be banned. But I've seen other people say December 30. He said Tether will be officially banned in Europe for refusing to comply with regulatory requirements, that Tether, the glue holding the markets together, is a ticking time bomb and will explode. Now, Tether has lost a few billion in market cap over the last week. But keep in mind, if you look at a longer time horizon, Tether's still grown exponentially this year. Over the last 1 year, we've gone from a $91 billion market cap to $138 billion. So a lot of people using Tether to get in the crypto ecosystem to take profits. And now Tether just made things more interesting. Tether bought another 7,629 Bitcoin worth about $705 million for its reserves, and now owns about $7.7 billion in Bitcoin. I don't know about you, but this doesn't sound like a company that's really worried about being solvent. It doesn't worry. They're not worrying about a depeg or something like that. It looks like, from my calculations, they funneled most of their profits into Bitcoin this quarter. I could always be wrong because they have a bunch of investments outside of just their treasury bonds or treasury notes. So I don't know exactly how much they make. Sometimes they publish it, but the fact is, if they have, let's say, 120 billion in short-term treasuries, maybe making 4%. That's $4.8 billion a year. That's $1.2 billion a quarter. So that means that over half of what they made this quarter, they put into Bitcoin. Again, this doesn't really seem like a company that's worried about their cash position. I don't think you make massive investments, 700 million here, 775 million into Rumble. If you're worried that your company is going to go insolvent, you would get much more careful about where you're spending your money. Now, the bears will point this out and say, oh, great, the company that's about to blow up also bought some Bitcoin. So when they blow up and go bankrupt, they're going to have to sell their Bitcoin. Or when they depeg, they're going to have to sell their Bitcoin to repeg their USDT. So bears are going to come out saying that. The bulls are going to come out saying Tether's fine, right? They are one of the biggest buyers in crypto. They're going to become even stronger. They have so much Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to continue to appreciate. They're going to become one of the dominant companies in the world, even though they already are. Like they should be one of the most profitable financial companies in the world. I believe they made more than BlackRock last year. And this year is going to be probably no different for them. They're extremely profitable. They can work extremely lean as well. And the fact is, if they've been through bear markets before, they can probably get through this bull market just fine, don't you think? So I think they're completely fine. We don't know even if they're going to be delisted from a lot of those exchanges in Europe. It's uncertain right now. Samson Mao says, other than Coinbase, who is invested in Circle, so they have a reason to just delist USDT. No other exchange has plans to delist USDT in the short term for European users. Local European regulators have a grace period of more than 12 months. For the FUDsters, which exchanges have announced the delisting of USDT for European users? The answer is only Coinbase. You can see how it works pretty clearly. You can see some of the grandfathered periods here, and that's why I've said in the previous videos. We don't know if they're actually going to delist. Apparently, they have delisted from Coinbase, and that's what I've been saying. But I've heard from some people, even in the UK, that they haven't delisted there. But again, they have an investment in Circle. They have an investment in USDC, so they're the main competitor for USDT. Why not delist it? Say that you're being careful, but just get more people to use USDC. And Samson Mao says the time to FUD Tether was probably when it had less than 100 million AUM. Now that USDT is 143 billion AUM, a top 20 holder of US Treasuries, more than all but 18 countries, banked by Cantor Fitzgerald, whose CEO is future Commerce Secretary of the USA, with a 16x more volume than its nearest competitor, USDC, and serving a few hundred million users in the global south, you have to either be uninformed, like Jason, or have an agenda. So yeah, the fact is, I think they're completely fine. This has been a source of fear in the crypto markets recently. I think some bears are using this to FUD the market again, but this will only probably get the newer people in crypto, because this happens every year. It seems that people are worried about USDT, and then it's completely fine. Michael Saylor bought some more Bitcoin. He acquired 2,138 Bitcoin for $209 million at about $97,837 per Bitcoin, and achieved a Bitcoin yield of 47.8% quarter to date and 74% year to date. They now hodl 446,400 Bitcoin acquired for $27.9 billion at $62,428 per coin. Now, this is a smaller buy than they've been making. Some people are pointing this out, maybe a little bit worried. I think we'll have to continue to watch this. There could be various reasons for it. It is a bit disappointing that they didn't make a bigger buy, but I think they're going to continue to buy consistently. And honestly, if they bought 209 million every single week, that'd still be $10 billion a year. Much less than what we were talking about just a few weeks ago, but still, that's nothing to scoff at, right? Like, this company was a $1 billion market cap just a couple of years ago, and we're talking about being disappointed that they're on pace just over the last week to buy $10 billion a year. Like, that's kind of crazy. Of course, they bought about $10 billion in the last month or so. The numbers change a lot depending on sentiment. It could be due to a variety of other factors too. But as we can see, the whole crypto market is falling down a little bit here today. We can see altcoins dropping as well. Let me just reload this for you. Now, I think there could be some manipulation out there. The fact is, we're seeing just the stock market in general fall a little bit today. There could be some extra manipulation in crypto. Just, if you're someone that wants to get your hands on a lot of Bitcoin ahead of the US elections, or ahead of the inauguration, right? Let's say that Trump is going to start a strategic Bitcoin reserve. You FUD the market. You try to cause liquidations. You try to cause fear into your end. You try to make people rethink their investment for the year ahead, and then, inevitably we pump up. That's typically what happens. I still think we are, we're not overheated compared to where we have been in previous cycles. We're at fair value for crypto. Actually, we might be undervalued. If you look at Into the Cryptoverse, which is one website that I use, actually I have a 10% off link to it underneath the video, but it's Benjamin Cohen's website. You can see here that the total crypto valuation versus trendline, we're actually just slightly undervalued. We have a valuation of 98.5%. What does that mean? Well, typically we move up and to the right in a log fashion. You can see, though, that we have times of overperformance, times of underperformance, and right now we're pretty much smack dab at fair value. But last cycle we went up about 4x above fair value during the peak of the bull. So people are saying that this is the top of the bull market. This would be unprecedented. We're literally talking about in the previous cycle a 400% overvaluation. The cycle before that, 1,300% overvaluation. This cycle, the most we've seen is 20% over the valuation, 120% valuation. So yeah, I don't think we're overvalued. I don't think that we've had some kind of blow off top. I think alts will probably bleed until Bitcoin turns around. MSTR is going to bleed until Bitcoin turns around. Right now, let's see what the valuation is on MSTR actually. So they have 446,400 Bitcoin, which those are worth about 91,400 right now. So about $40 billion, and MSTR is worth about $75 billion. So right now we are at about a 1.83x premium on MicroStrategy. As Bitcoin falls down, the sentiment changes for proxies like MSTR, like some of the Bitcoin miners. You have to be careful with proxies a little bit towards the end of the bull market because people start valuing them lower, like the premiums on them will get lower. But I think there's a case to be made that MicroStrategy could see a much higher multiple compared to the net asset value if they're able to reaccelerate their Bitcoin purchases if Bitcoin continues to go up as well. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to BTCC. I think now's a great time to be trading. I think we'll be able to snag some longs towards the bottom here. And over the long term, if you play this, somewhat conservatively, lower leverage, you should be able to make some insane gains. But of course, do your own research because it can be risky. Thank you so much. I do have an announcement. My team and I are creating something that can help newer people in crypto, helping them set up wallets. Specifically, that's where we came up with the idea. A lot of people are very stressed about setting up a wallet, making sure that they're doing it properly, making sure if they have a large transaction that they're sending it to the right place or that they understand how to send it. Maybe they have some beginner questions, and some of these people want one-on-one help, and there aren't really resources for that. So I am working with someone to create a way to get one-on-one help with someone that's been around in the crypto markets for a decade on helping them set up the wallet securely, on proper risk management, on these beginner questions. So be on the lookout for that. We are creating that now and going through exactly what we want to offer and the price points and all that. So be on the lookout. That will be coming soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye.